It's March 12th, 2025. I hope everybody's doing well. I know there are different time zones here, and it's like a little past 1 a.m. So I wanted to get this video out there, and it's relating to the last couple of videos that I posted about the property vandalism. Now, for anybody who's a targeted person, not like regular people watching my videos and stuff that are giving some really great advice, but when it comes to targeted people, it's very, very different. And the reason it's different is because it's state-sponsored. It's locally sponsored. So even if it's not state-sponsored, it is locally sponsored, meaning there is an organized crime network. And for all the people that are listening for the first time, welcome. But when I moved to Kentucky from New Jersey, I did not know anyone. So the fact that I didn't know anyone generally means, you would think that it means that nobody around here would know anything about me other than that somebody new was coming in, it was a female, whatever. How could they possibly know, right? But when you're a targeted person, that's not the case. You have fusion center operatives, private contractors, InfraGard. You've got a whole little secret, covert network spreading slander in the community to war against the person, to harass them from the moment they get there. Now, it's very different when you're already living somewhere for a long time. Like when I lived at my house at 52 Sutton Drive, Manalapan, New Jersey, I was actually the original owner. I placed a deposit on that house when it was still being built. So, except for one neighbor next door, a couple diagonally across the street, there was nobody living on that block. So we all kind of grew up together. Our children grew up together. We all knew each other. We were all married. And then, little by little, I was the first one on the block to get divorced. And then my next door neighbor got divorced. And another neighbor diagonally across the street, and others. And then the new people moved in. So it's very different when you become targeted in a community where everybody knows you already. It's very difficult to get those people to co-opt to do certain things. And of course, Manalapan is an upscale neighborhood. I mean, educated people earn a lot of money. They've got businesses, a lot of Wall Street people and stuff. So even though they may participate, they are participating on different levels, like ignoring me. After having known me for 20 years, ignoring me or doing stupid little things, but not to the level of what is happening here in rural Kentucky, because the people here are not educated. They don't have, $1 million businesses. They don't live in $500,000 homes or $1 million homes or whatever it is. They own a lot of property. A lot of the property here has been handed down generationally. And this is what I find. When people get things for free, not all people, but when people get things for free, they don't appreciate it. They didn't work for it. They take it for granted, and they become very entitled. So, and that's what I'm finding here. And I don't know all the history of everybody here. only can speak for maybe a couple of people that the property was handed down through generations, and I think that's a wonderful thing. However, don't hold it against the people that work their asses off their whole lives to buy a property and then move here, try to improve it, improve the community, and then become envious and jealous and want to take away what you've created because they haven't created anything for themselves. It was just handed to them on a silver platter. So, and that brings me to a couple of comments that I received. And I thank everybody for commenting, but it's so easy to know who the perps are, right? So I receive a comment. Let me see here. One person writes, "You paint it as such a horrible place to live. It'd be very hard to sell your property with all that goes on there. I'd say when they see your videos, they'll run. I can't blame them." Well, I don't know about you guys, but when I was looking for properties, the last place I looked was YouTube. Most of my videos are not even tagged. Well, there are some that are tagged Jackson County, but none of them are tagged by my city. 0. But either way, I think it's really important for people to be aware of what goes on here, and you should know who your neighbors are. It has nothing to do with the actual property because, as I've mentioned before, Travis Sparks, who built most of the buildings here, he was a wonderful man. He did a lot of wonderful things for this community. And like I said, I can spit on my neighbors for what they've done to his property. But they're envious and jealous. They were jealous of him too. That's why he nailed everything to the buildings, because there were thieves around here. I don't even know how better to explain it. He was a sweet little old man who built this village after his wife passed away to keep busy and deal with his grief. And when I moved here, everybody around here contacted me. Oh, do you still have this? Do you still have that? It's like, I bought my property and you know where every goddamn thing is on the property? And you want it? You've had your eye on it? Oh, but I guess the former owner didn't gift it to you when he passed away. He didn't leave any of you guys anything. Such good neighbors. So, no, it's not a horrible place to live. It is a horrible place to live when you have psychopaths like the Scarlet family, the ski mask guy, and a couple of others. The Zoom boy. But again, it's a skit show. These people are paid to do this. They are engaged by a higher level person to perform this skit show. And I'm going to read and really dig home on what real estate mobbing is. Okay, before you, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel grow and get the message out there. And my channel is shadow banned. I've had people that I've known for a long time contact me and say, Lorraine, I was looking for a video, blah, 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 blah. I can't find it. I can't even find your channel. Typing it in. I mean, I can find it fine. But believe it or not, I have looked for certain videos on my channel by typing in the whole name and it wouldn't pop up. So yes, there are certain things that are shadow banned. They don't want you to see it. That's why I ask for you to subscribe. Be a subscriber. You know, hit the thumbs up, because usually if you're hitting the thumbs up in a comment, my channel will repopulate for you in your feed. So, and I do look forward to your questions and comments, even if I disagree with what you're saying. It's okay. However, if you're a perp, I'm going to call you out. Okay, so here comes the perp. Next. Well, no, this is not a perp. Okay, then this is just a comment that I want to comment on. The program is designed to make targeted people sound loopy. And that's absolutely true. It is designed that way because these are psychopaths that are concocting these skits and these plays. And that's why they have to watch you 24/7 so they can bastardize, mimic what it is that you're doing and manipulate it. Regular, normal people don't have to watch somebody else like this. That's why I said these are not intelligent people. Intelligent people have their own lives. They focus on their own lives, on their own selves, their own business. These are busybodies. They've got nothing else to do with their sorry-ass lives but to torment and harass somebody else. And they get off on it. They get off on it. And also, remember, the eBay stalker case. I don't mean to mention this as often as I do, but this is very important because it's not online anymore. eBay hired 2 retired police officers in their security department. This is going back a few years. It's offline because there's a gag order. It's a sealed document. But I have the lawsuit. So this is from memory, by the way. It's just what I'm remembering. I'm not reading from it. So these coppers decide they're going to engage in a bunch of other eBay employees and harass and torment, according to the FBI playbook of harassment. And that's what they said. These are not my words. This is what they have testified in a court of law. Okay? They testified against this. So they were tormenting a couple in Massachusetts, a husband and a wife, because they had written some negative comments, I guess in an eBay forum or something like that. So they decided to take it upon themselves to target this couple. They were sending unalived animals in the mail. Now, I don't know if you know where eBay's located. It's located all the way on the West Coast. And where's Massachusetts? It's all the way on the East Coast. Yeah, different time zones even. And they were doing this for a long time. The couple was very fortunate enough, and of course they are a couple, and they were a team, and they had people that believed them. They got the ear of the media, a local news station that published it. As a result, they were able to obtain an attorney. And even a more shocking thing is that they actually had a real FBI agent testify on their behalf. And his testimony was phenomenal. And I'll say it again, if you're out there, FBI guy, please contact me, because I need you to testify on my behalf. And I have got evidence coming out of the kazoo in 2 states. So anyway, he testified on their behalf. And these stupid coppers, right? These dumbass, I'm going to use the expression of a famous cyber stalker on YouTube. The dumbasses, they had the audacity to tell the judge, I was only doing what I was taught by the FBI. And the judge said, the details of this case were so bizarre, I would not have even imagined them to be in a movie or a film or something like that. Because yes, the program is designed to make the targeted person sound loopy. It's called a psychological operation for a reason. That's why they watch you 24/7. They got to nitpick. They got to design these stupid little skits. Because when you tell somebody else about it, they'll say, you're kidding me, right? No, I'm not kidding you. How about, I've got it on video? How about I've got it on photo? How about I've got Scarlett? How about I've got my neighbor screaming down the county road? I'm just going to imitate her for a minute, okay? You belong in an insane asylum! As she's trailing off down the county road. And I'm thinking, okay, what world am I living in? I haven't said a word to this woman, and she's screaming down the county road, I belong in the insane asylum? Okay. The last time I looked, I was straight as an arrow. From what I understand, she's not. But I'm not going to go into details because that's not what this video is about. I'm going to tell you that they hire your neighbors. They hire the loopiest neighbors. The most jealous, envious, malignant narcissists that they can. Because these people, they're supposed to be the intelligence people. So in some ways they are kind of smart. Because they're chuckling behind these losers' back. Because they told them a lie that they believed. So yeah, the Fusion Center operatives, they're laughing their asses off at your neighbors. Because they got them to do something that they didn't have to do themselves. So now let's get back to the perp comment. Okay, so let me get it here. And of course, I'm not finding it. 1 second. I apologize. Okay. Now I'm trying to find my... Here you go. And this is from and I apologize for... I bookmarked it on my mail and it disappeared. So here is Marcia -Y3I. And please make a note, you can block this person. Commented, I promise, no one is trying to prevent the sale of your property. Everyone, in big bold print, wants your property to sell really fast. The faster it sells, the sooner you will be gone. Here, I'm going to show you. Here. Well, Marcia, I did respond to you. That's not how it works. And you know it because you're a perp. You might be a neighbor perp. If they really wanted me gone, they wouldn't be vandalizing the property. If they really wanted me gone, nobody would be contacting my real estate agents behind my back to not sell the property. If they really wanted me gone, they would ignore me. If they really wanted me gone, they wouldn't throw trash on the property or filthy it. Marcia, Y3I, perp. You're blocked, by the way. Gone. But that's not how the program works. And of course you know it. And if they wanted my property to sell it really fast, it would have been sold 2 years ago. But they approached my former realtor, Cassie Foley, Century 21, to not sell my property. In fact, people were bombarding her with phone calls that my property was promised to someone else. Marcia, Y3I. So let's get into the topic of this, the real topic here. So we're going to talk about malignant narcissists, psychopaths, rivals, what they do to their rivals, and real estate mobbing. So now, malignant narcissists and psychopaths, they're masters of manipulation. They use calculated tactics to harass and discredit their rivals and competitors. Their goal is total domination by destroying the credibility, reputation, and well-being of those they perceive as threats. And this is how they operate. They've got the smear campaign and the character assassination, sort of like what they do to every targeted person in every neighborhood and community. Of course, they can get away with it easier when a person moves into a new neighborhood rather than somebody who's lived there for a long time. They spread lies, half-truths, twisted narratives to damage their rival's reputation. This can include whisper campaigns, spreading rumors through social circles, online forums, or media. Fake accusations claiming their rival is dishonest, unstable, or involved in wrongdoing. Defamation and slander, publicly making false statements to ruin credibility. Now, just for the record, I just need to clarify this for all you people out there. The truth is not defamation, okay? Number 2, gaslighting and psychological warfare. They manipulate reality, making the target doubt their own perceptions. Tactics include denial of obvious events. Well, that never happened. You're imagining things. Twisting the facts. Reframing a victim's self-defense as aggression. Playing the victim. Accusing their rival of attacking them when they are the true aggressors. Because remember, they project their deficits. Whatever they're saying about you, they're really talking about themselves and they're projecting it upon you because they can't own their own garbage. They sabotage and undermine. They work behind the scenes to damage their rival's success. They vandalize property or plant false evidence to frame the victim. They bribe, and this is what happened recently, they bribed or influenced decision makers to shut down opportunities. They block resources, spreading false information to make the rival lose clients, business deals, or support. Or people who want to work on my property, they lie to them. They hunt them down. They follow them and mark their license plates, and then they run to the county lawyer. Oh, I got a license plate for you. Can you look it up? Oh, yeah, we can find out who they are. And then I can drive to their home and threaten them. The way my neighbor did with my eyewitness when my gate was torn down. Online and social media harassment, they use digital platforms as a weapon, even through fake profiles and bots to spread misinformation. Maybe that Marsha is a fake profile. Cyber stalking and doxing, exposing personal information to invite real-world harassment. False reports, getting accounts suspended or content removed. Oh, and that's happened to me before. They spread false reports, right? And then I appeal it. Sometimes, eBay, YouTube says no. And a lot of times they'll go, yeah, you're right, and restore the content. Legal and institutional manipulation. They exploit the legal system and institutions to harass their rivals. Frivolous lawsuits to drain financial resources, false police reports to create legal trouble. Sort of like when your sorry-ass neighbor calls the fire department. When you're burning the leaves that are clogging the ditch, which I have done every year since I lived here, except last fall. First year, I haven't done it. Between weather and other things, I didn't get to it. But I was going to get to it now. I have never seen the county clean any goddamn thing in the month of March. Early March. Never. It's usually done in the summertime. So this was called. Somebody called this in. They called it in to do. Using corrupt officials to interfere with property sales, business deals, or personal affairs. So I'm just going to repeat that. And just for the record, ChatGPT told me about how they use corrupt officials to interfere with property sales, business deals, or personal affairs. Isolation and social exclusion. They turn allies against the rival. They poison relationships. They convince friends, family, and colleagues to turn away. They create false alliances. So what they do is they'll gain the trust of influential people and then block the target from resources. They publicly humiliate people, exposing personal struggles or failures to discredit the person in their community. Why do they do this? Well, they fear losing control. They see competition as a direct threat to their delusional superiority. Envy and resentment. They despise others' successes. And they'll destroy what they can't have. Like this property. They couldn't buy it in 2019. They saw everything that I did to it, improved it. They became more jealous with everything I did. And now they destroyed a lot of things. But that's okay. It is going to come back to haunt you. One way or another, it's going to. You think you're untouchable, but you're not.
Then there's the lack of empathy, because psychopaths, sociopaths, they don't care about the destruction they cause.
So how do you protect yourself? You document everything. You keep records of their harassment and their false claims. Control the narrative.
Don't let them define you. Speak your truth boldly, which is what I do. Stay resilient. They thrive on emotional reactions. Staying calm disarms them. Use legal protection. If they escalate, consult with lawyers or authorities for protection. These individuals thrive in the shadows. Exposing them is their greatest fear.
Because they're afraid. So now, let's discuss real estate mobbing and how these malignant narcissists and psychopaths sabotage the property sales and how they utilize real estate mobbing. So when a malignant narcissist or psychopath wants to sabotage somebody's ability to sell a property,
they use underhanded, manipulative, and even illegal tactics to drive down value, block buyers, and create chaos. Their goal is often revenge,
financial control, or simply destroying their rival's success.
One of the most extreme forms of this is real estate mobbing, where multiple individuals, sometimes including corrupt officials, neighbors, or real estate insiders, like real estate agents, they work together to harass and undermine the property owner.
How do they do this? Well, vandalism and property degradation. One of the most common ways to devalue a property is by making it look abandoned, neglected, or unsafe. And that's why somebody in the comment section said, Lorraine, for your own sake, why don't you just leave the property, go somewhere else,
and then still try to sell it? I would never leave it. What, are you kidding?
There are no rules or laws here in Kentucky for
squatters. You never leave your property, ever. Okay, so I would never do it.
So this is what they do. They damage structures, they break windows, destroy fences, and they tamper with utilities. I'm going to say check mark, check mark, check mark.
Spray painting, graffiti, or dumping trash on the property to make it seem undesirable. Well, they don't do spray painting, but what they use is a heat gun, some kind of a heating device with a directed energy weapon, whatever it is, and you can see the burn marks in the buildings. They poison your trees, plants, and gardens to create the illusion of environmental hazards. They mess with your plumbing or electrical systems to cause reoccurring damage, like clogging your toilet paper with your own toilet paper. Clogging the toilet with your own toilet paper. These tactics make potential buyers hesitate or demand a much lower price. That's the key, a much lower price. Well, good luck with that.
Ultimately forcing the owner into financial hardship.
And just for the record, that's not going to happen, because if I don't sell the property, like I said, I will be filing a lawsuit, and I'll stay here. I'll stay here and I'll do something else.
I will get a little army to come and live here. And I've already been contacted by people who would love to live here. That's not my goal, but it's certainly an option. So these tactics make potential buyers hesitate or demand a much lower price, like in Manalapan, New Jersey. See, I've been through this rodeo before.
I'm not giving in to this crapola.
So they spread false information to scare buyers away. That's what they did in New Jersey. Narcissists and their enablers deliberately spread lies to make buyers think the property's a bad investment, which it is not. This property can be divided 3 ways. And if I had the time, if I had another person here, if I didn't have so many animals to care for,
I would divide the property up and sell it in parts. And it would sell that way. Definitely, for sure.
They tell the buyer that the land has hidden legal issues like fake zoning problems, code violations, unpaid taxes. Well, there are no zoning problems here because there's no zoning department and there's no zoning. And there are no codes to violate. We are the one county in the whole state of Kentucky that doesn't have those rules and regulations.
And as far as unpaid taxes, I don't have to pay taxes anymore.
And I already paid the taxes that I owed previously, which are low, low, low.
They claim the house is haunted or cursed. There's no haunting here. No. To create fear in small town or spiritual communities. Well, oh, come on. This community, there's no spirituality going on here. These are friggin' witches and Freemason cults. There's no spirituality going here. These people don't even attend church. You know, you think like in the Bible Belt, these people don't go to church. They go to gang stalking meetings. That's their church. They spread rumors of toxic waste, sinkholes, there you go, environmental hazards to dissuade buyers. They say the property's in a high crime area or targeted for future demolition, even if it's false. Well, the only high crime area in any state, in any city, is wherever a targeted person lives, because the local criminals create crime against the targeted person. When that targeted person leaves, unless they get another targeted one, it magically disappears. Poof, it's all gone. They're going to have to find somebody else, maybe in another city, maybe in another, a few blocks away. So since real estate decisions are based on word of mouth and reputation, these tactics scare off serious buyers before they even consider making an offer. Well, I have a feeling I'm not going to sell to anybody locally. If they couldn't afford it in 2019, they're not going to afford it now. I don't think there's going to be a buyer in Kentucky unless they live all the way north Kentucky and are looking for like a farm area. And a lot of people are these days. They want to get out of the big cities. There isn't anybody in Kentucky that's going to come buy this property.
Harassment and intimidation of interested buyers. If a serious buyer does show interest, these individuals may actively intimidate them so they back out.
But I'm one step ahead of them, because if I do have somebody come and view the property, I have no problem disclosing. some of the things that I'm experiencing, and to be aware that they may be approached. They'll show up uninvited during showings to warn potential buyers about fake problems. That's okay, I'm one step ahead of you, you little losers. When somebody does show up, again, I will be on the property at all times. And I have no problem with a disclosure of some things, including my neighbors. I have no problem. And that it has nothing to do with them, that they war against single women that live alone. That's right. They're jealous of single women that own property. But if you're a married couple, no problemo. Calling buyers anonymously and threatening them, or telling them the owner is trouble. Stalking or confronting buyers when they visit the property. Here's the good one. Paying off and coercing real estate agents to steer buyers towards different properties. Do you hear that? Paying off, coercing real estate agents to steer buyers toward different properties. This intimidation can be done by corrupt neighbors, local officials, or even hired harassers that work together in real estate mobbing. So we're going to put real estate mobbing on the map. We're going to start talking about real estate mobbing everywhere. And then they use corrupt officials and legal tactics to block the sale. Narcissists and psychopaths with connections in local government, they use bureaucratic sabotage to legally stall or destroy the sale. They may have the property suddenly flagged for zoning violations and unnecessary inspections. Well, they'll actually have to create a zoning board because there is none in Jackson County, Kentucky. They'll block building permits or repairs needing to finalize the sale. Well, there isn't that much that needs permitting around here, you know. I've got all the permits. They file fake liens or lawsuits to be tied up in the title court, making it impossible to sell. Well, yeah, good luck with that, you little fuckers. Because something like that, I will sue your sorry asses. They pressure inspectors to give a bad report so that banks won't approve financing. This tactic is especially effective if the county judge or officials are corrupt, because they can create endless delays. Well, guess what? I'm already on to the corrupt officials around here, and I have no problem calling them out. In fact, you know, there is a forum called change.org where a lot of people publicize corruption. And that could be a certain avenue, like filing a petition, getting real estate mobbing on the map. They want to drive down the property value through real estate manipulation. Like in some cases, a larger network of real estate insiders are involved in the sabotage, especially if they want to acquire the property at a low price. And I'm telling you, for those people, this is a gorgeous property. It's actually the prettiest property on the block. There's so much of it. There's so many different climates on the property. If it's hot in one area, you go up to another one and you've got a breeze and it's cool. It's actually a beautiful property. I would not have bought it if it weren't. It has a little stream behind it. It's got water. It's got wildlife. Like I just fed the fox again. They came wanting some food a little while ago. They want to undermine appraisals. If they have connections to appraisers, they may get a lower valuation to reduce the property selling price. Well, it's actually $584. Just so you know, it's $584. They encourage lowball offers through behind-the-scene deals. They convince buyers to only make insultingly low offers so the owner is forced into a bad deal. They tried to do this in New Jersey. Remember I told you about how my ethical real estate agent placed one of those corrupt ones on speakerphone? She told my agent, don't you know you can't sell that property for more than $500,000? On speaker. And I spoke to this agent. I said, excuse me? Where'd you get that information from? She hung up on me. So yeah, this is what they do. They do the blacklisting behind the scenes. But I'm on to you because I've experienced it before. So real estate mobbing is a coordinated harassment tactic to force you to sell cheaply. You know, like my former residence now was going for close to $900,000 in less than 6 years. But the property taxes is close to $15,000 also. So real estate mobbing is a more extreme version of these tactics where multiple bad actors work together to pressure an owner into selling for less than market value or abandoning the property. I'm not going to be abandoning the property. Neighbors harassing the owners daily, loud noises, trespassing, physical intimidation. Well, I will say, you know, unalived skinned animals. They engage in animal abuse and torture. They file fake complaints against the owner with local authorities, the police, housing departments. The utilities are mysteriously getting shut off or tampered with to create unlivable conditions. Oh yeah, they did that to my washing machine, my water heater. So now they're brand new. Real estate's refusing to show the property or discouraging buyers. They did that with Cassie Foley, Century 21. That's okay, Cassie. Come after me. I've got all your text messages and all your emails. Yeah, come on, Cassie. Liar. Century 21. C21. Masonic. It's a Masonic cult real estate company. Stay away.
That's my personal opinion, by the way, and I'm entitled to my opinion. Psychological warfare and stress tactics. Beyond physical and legal sabotage, these individuals use psychological attacks to break down the owner's will to fight. Good luck with that, bitches. This includes sending anonymous threats warning them to leave town or give up the sale. Calling them repeatedly with fake buyers who never show up and waste time and energy. They did this in New Jersey. That's why I'm on to them. Trying to turn family members or business partners against them to isolate them. Following them or invading their privacy so they feel constantly watched. Well, that's been going on for 6 years. These tactics are meant to create extreme stress, anxiety, and exhaustion, making it easier for the owner to give up. Losers, I'm one of those never give up kind of people. It's called persistence, and I am persistent. How to fight back against real estate sabotage and mobbing. If you're facing these kind of attacks,
here are some countermeasures, and this is for anybody else out there, targeted or not, because real estate mobbing can happen to anybody. This was actually kind of happening to a friend of mine in North Jersey. She was being pressured to sell her house. She had 2 lots. And now in North Jersey, that is a very valuable. Like, this is like a couple of $1 million, right? And she didn't want to sell it. She wasn't interested in the money. She just liked where she lived. She's like an original owner. She's been living there forever. They kept harassing her and making her offers and stuff. Now, I haven't spoken to her in a while, so I don't know if she did finally sell. But they were just harassing her. They wanted her property so badly. So you need to document everything. Record vandalism, check mark. Record the false accusation, check mark. Any strange occurrences with photos, videos, and timestamps, check mark. Well, hire an independent real estate attorney. Avoid local professionals who might be compromised. I agree. I would never hire anybody local. Again, in a legal capacity. They're all bought and sold and bribed and corrupt. Screen potential buyers carefully. Some quote-unquote interested buyers may actually be working with the saboteurs to stall the sale. That I'm aware of. Yes. That's where your intuition comes in. You can tell.
You can tell when somebody's interested and when they're not interested.
Publicly expose the situation. A well-timed social media post or news story can shine a light on corruption and deter bad actors. And that's where the petition will come in. Boys and girls, men and women.
We've got a lot of stuff up our sleeves. We've got a lot going on, though. But there is no way these losers are going to get away with this shit. Consider security measures. Install cameras, motion sensors, and alarms to catch vandals in the act. Well, they keep destroying my cameras, but I have caught many of them already. Many. They're all online. Contact outside authorities. If local officials are corrupt, and they are, escalate the issue to state
or federal agencies like the Attorney General's office. And final thoughts.
Malignant narcissist and real estate mobbing groups operate in secrecy. But their tactics are highly predictable once you know the playbook. And I do, I know the playbook.
Their greatest weakness is exposure. And when the truth comes out to light, their power crumbles. So stay vigilant, gather evidence, and never let them force you into a deal on their terms.
So anyway, hey, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, exposing one corrupt official at a time. And there'll be more. I guarantee there'll be more that will be exposed in a very public way in the not too distant future. So if you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. Have you experienced real estate mobbing? Or, now remember, I think I've mentioned this before.
See, back in the 70s, this used to happen to apartment owners, renters.
And it was outlawed. It was called block busting. And they performed the same kind of real estate mobbing tactics against a renter. Let's say the renter had been there for many, many years and they have a rent-controlled apartment. But now that apartment, let's say, is going for thousands of dollars a month, where the current renter is only paying maybe $400 a month. They want that person out.
But they have a lease. They're not moving. They're older.
So blockbusting was performing all of these kind of activities against the renter to force them to leave. And it was outlawed back in the 70s. So now they've created the real estate mobbing because it's more lucrative, right? It's more lucrative when you own property or a home. And real estate mobbing should be outlawed. So that's why we need to get those words out there. A lot of people have never heard of it before. But obviously ChatGPT and AI knows all about it. So it's been going on for a long time. So please remember to hit the thumbs up. Please share this video. Share this video with anyone that you know that owns property, whether or not they're selling or not, because they may be experiencing some of these tactics and not even be aware that it's happening to them. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. I hope everybody's doing well. Exposing one real estate mobbing neighbor at a time.